Why, hello there. Are you following me? Creep. Just kidding. We're back at the garage, you guys. The RV has officially been sitting for a little over a month, I think. So the question is, will it start first try?
Oh, jeez.
Clementine lives again, baby. I don't know why I'm always so surprised when it starts.
It's supposed to start now, so it's a good thing.
Sounds good, too. All right. Good afternoon, adventurers.
Oh my gosh, we're back!
We are back. Can you believe it? We are back working on the RV.
I'm already completely covered in sawdust.
Yeah.
It feels like home.
If you guys have been keeping up with the videos, you've seen that we've been on the road for a bit. We went to that Christmas market in Chicago, and then we ended up coming back, spending Christmas with our family. It was awesome. We've actually been dying to do a little bit more work on the RV because, as you guys know, there's a lot of little projects that we want to finish before we take it back out on the road. You guys might also know that we did not end up packing up here in the garage.
Yeah, so we got maybe an eighth of the way through packing up.
Pretty generous.
And then we came back from traveling and we were going to finish cleaning up, but there are a few projects that we wanted to do that required some big cuts. So we decided to just stay in the garage a few more days and try to finish these up.
The first project we're working on in this video is in the overhead cab sleeping area. On the foot and the head of the bed, there's this nice little area where we have been planning to put little kind of cubby cabinet things. We couldn't really decide exactly what we wanted to do, but we came up with a design today, and basically, these are it, or these are at least the pieces.
Yes.
We were gonna just use some plywood, but you know, plywood just has the plywood edge, and that's not really the vibe that we're going in the RV, and we don't wanna have to cover them all up, so we decided to go with one of our favorite woods.
Cedar!
Cedar.
Yay! It's so pretty and so lightweight and just fits everything else because almost everything else in that overhead cab area is cedar.
It is a softer wood, so you know you run the risk of dinging it up and stuff, but we're gonna put a hefty coat of polyurethane on this, and I feel like those dings just kind of give it character anyway, because it's kind of a rough piece of wood anyway.
But it's gonna be so nice. We'll have an official place to put our cell phone, headphones, books, magazines,
cords,
whatever.
all kinds of little trinkets and miscellaneous stuff. Plus, it's just gonna make it look so much more complete up in there.
Yes, please.
So we have a few more cuts we need to make on these bad boys. Then we're gonna assemble them, we're gonna finish them, and hopefully install them. Yeah.
Maybe this will be our first one-day project that actually gets done in a day.
Get real, you know this is gonna take multiple days. There's no way around it with us.
The plan with the RV is that we finish up some projects that have just been keeping us up at night, knowing that we need to finish them, and then hit the road.
Yeah.
So hopefully very, very soon, in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, we're gonna be on the road before you know it, y'all, in the new year. But for now, we're still slugging away, building stuff in this friggin' RV.
Yep.
We are attempting to get better with this hunk of machinery. It's called a router. I've only used it once before in our entire build. The reason we're using this is because our big fantasy is to have these little slots, these grooves that the board can fit in. And there's a bunch of ways you can do these, but the router is one way you can do it. We have a router, so we really wanted to try it. But it's not going so well, you guys. It has been tearing up the wood, even though we feel we have a brand new blade, we have the settings, what the manual says they should be. I guess I just am not experienced enough to know why the hell it's doing this. So we're trying to do all this stuff. That's why we have these pieces of wood here. We're trying to keep it from blowing out, and some of this stuff is helping. In general, it's gonna work because you can clean all this stuff up with sandpaper afterward, but it's been a little challenging. And to top it all off, this bit is 3/4 inch wide, which is basically what this wood is, except of course it's like a 1/16 or so bigger. So we have to cut one groove and then make it slightly bigger. So we gotta do 2 passes on every groove. Hopefully that made sense. Now buzz off, I'm routering, baby. Does that sound like I know what I'm doing?
It sounds like you know how to boss me around, maybe.
I am pretty good at that. Moment of truth, baby. Woo, we're grooving now. Woo! Dude, that's like a glove, all right? Whoa. If you didn't know better, you might say we know a thing or two. But trust me, we don't.
We don't, but that is looking mighty fun.
Yeah, we're good at faking like we know something.
Yeah.
Lots of trial and error, basically. All right, this is gonna work. Guys, look what we built. The least functional pair of skis ever created.
Just in time for winter.
So we got all of our cubbies all glued together. The idea is that we're basically gonna build this whole thing outside and then slide it into the little spots where it goes inside of the RV.
We want the bottom to look really nice. The plywood we have in there is not nice.
Nope.
So we have these little cedar planks here. This is going to sit right on top of it.
Then we'll fasten all this together. We're gonna put lids here, and then those all open like this, and then Bob's your uncle. All right, let's get fastening. All right, bottom is installed, and I think this is gonna work like a charm.
Yeah.
It is very, very light too, because we are under our weight limit, but pretty close to it in the RV, so anything we add to it, we're trying to keep it very, very light. We have some glue that needs some time to dry on those little cubbies that we're making. So we've just been in here puzzling over the kitchen. If you guys have seen the few times that we've taken Clementine out, the kitchen works tremendously well, but we've had a hard time organizing everything, and we were really having a hard time committing to where to put everything. So right now we have this drawer, which has our cutting board and all of our junk. You know, Rust-Oleum, we got an ice tray, we got painter's tape, you know, all the staples. We do have this little drawer that's just for pans and stuff, but you can see we want a permanent home for all this stuff, and right now it's just kind of stacked on top of everything. Up here, you can see everything's just kind of loosely laying in here. It's halfway full of cereal. So we've actually just been making a bunch of meals in here, as many as we can, just to get a nice vibe of what needs to go where and what all the inconveniences are, so we can sort those out. So we're actually gonna make lunch in here because we can. We have a full functioning kitchen in our garage.
Yeah, now we don't have to stop and drive into town and figure all that out. We can just make it in here.
We are making tacos, baby. And why are we making tacos? Because we are going to Mexico later in January.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah, and we're gonna meet up with some old friends, some familiar faces as well, but we won't let the cat out of the bag just yet. And as you've probably guessed, today's video is sponsored once again by HelloFresh. They are slowly becoming our favorite sponsor because that means we get to eat.
With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasoned recipes delivered right to your doorstep. I'm sure a lot of you guys are like us, and every New Year's we're always like, we're gonna get healthy next year, we're gonna eat better, exercise, all that stuff. But then by February, we're in our jammies on the couch eating a frozen pizza or having food delivered to us. But HelloFresh makes it so much easier to stay on track with your resolutions because you can control what you're eating. They also have tons of quick and easy recipes like this one that takes 20 minutes or less and is super easy to clean up.
As usual, our tacos turned out amazing. So these are just pork tacos with slaw and a little bit of sour cream. If you still haven't tried HelloFresh, you can head over to HelloFresh.com and use the code EndlessAdventure16, and they're gonna give you up to 16 free meals this time, plus 3 surprise gifts, which they wouldn't tell me what these gifts were. So I guess they'll have to go there and figure out what the heck they are.
You guys will have to let us know what the gifts are.
Yeah, are we gonna get gifts in our next box?
I hope so.
I'm gonna have to take this up with them, TBD. All right, taco cheers.
Taco cheers.
This is our tradition. We have to cheers all of our food awkwardly.
Everything. Okay, back to work.
Oh, jeez. Do it a little bit more subtle.
Okay, back to work. All right, next up, we are making the lids to our little cubbies. We were thinking originally of just, cutting 3 little lids that open up and just staining them, and that's fine. But that's boring. And Eric and Allison nowadays aren't boring like we used to be. We're gonna go wild. And we've been sketching up some fun little artsy project for this. This is the winner here. I don't know, they all kind of look the same now, but what this represents is us doing some little 45-degree angled lines that we are then going to do like my door and stain different colors so that it's got a nice little pop. Everything's gonna pop, y'all.
Yeah, it's gonna work like a charm.
He's so great. Yeah. Yeah, remember when young, dumb Allison at the start of this video said, oh, maybe we'll actually finish a one-day project?
Maybe this will be our first one-day project.
It's day maybe 3 now.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah!
So far, so good. I figured this is a good time to tell you guys our strategy for this. So we did a lot of testing on scrap pieces, and this is what we came up with. We're just cutting 45-degree angles and we're making them to where they start here and then end off the other end of the board. The beauty of that is that we can use the skill saw set to just about an 1/8 inch depth and skim the top of it, and then it makes these nice little slots in here. This is the same technique Allison used on her door in there. So the idea is that you kind of section it off, and then we're gonna darken these little slats that we're making, and then everything in between those is gonna be kind of a different shade of like wood stain. A really cool trick to stop the wood from fraying out or splitting too bad, put a little piece of painter's tape on there. I've actually seen guys on YouTube do this all the time. We always forget to do it, but the wood kept kind of fraying out, and then once we did this, it didn't anymore. So it works! But this has been really easy with the square here. We just use the 45-degree angle, we clamp it, and then we use that as the guide for the skill saw. And pray to God I don't mess it up on every line.
Nice stance, babe.
It's my power stance right there. Kind of easy to mess up, but I haven't messed it up yet, so.
Welcome to our home away from home, aka Menards. We are making yet another paint decision. We're gonna try this milk paint on some of the cedar and see what it does.
So one of the strips is gonna be white, but we want the grain to show through. So milk paint should do the trick for that, but we've never used it, so.
We've never used it, but we see it often when we're out shopping for paint. And it seems so fun, so I guess a $20 experiment.
Yeah, dude, so expensive, man.
God, it hurts, but hopefully it'll be beautiful and worth it. All right, back to the garage. We're back at the garage, and it is finally time to start painting these cubby tops. And our ingenious plan is that we taped off all of our little cuts we made. And this little bottle right here, which is adorable and horrifying at the same time, is filled with dark paint. And we're just gonna ever so gently fill in all of these gaps so that they're dark. And then after that, we'll start staining and painting the meat of the cabinets. Hopefully we don't ruin this many days work of crafting.
Oh yeah.
Woohoo! Oh, it's so satisfying. I guess that's one of the perks of being mostly done with the RV, is we can kind of take our time and have fun with these last projects.
This is my trusty stick. This is actually a piece of trim that is the exact width of these little slots that we made. We're having a hard time getting the paint like saturated on the edges, so this is my big bright idea. This is probably not going to work at all. It's very satisfying though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's had to have done it.
Right, you smooshed it all out.
That seems pretty acceptable.
All right. Are we talking?
Oh yeah. What are we listening to?
Oh no, that was 3 Doors Down. But it wasn't on purpose, it's a playlist.
Heck yeah.
It's Breaking Benjamin Radio on Spotify.
Yeah.
We find it's very, not soothing or comforting, it's just fun.
It's just music, really.
It's just music, and it reminds us of when we were young.
So while our paint in the crack experiment is drying back there, we're gonna stain these suckers. All right, put our music back on
Commence
too.
the music in.
Now that's some staining music.
Oh, we should have been playing Stain.
Oh.
Damn it.
Missed opportunity. Guess what's playing right now, y'all?
The next song, it must have heard me.
It's Stained. And I guess you could say, it's been a while. Little update, our paint in the crack idea didn't really work that well. I don't know if you guys can really see, but it just kind of ended up still seeping out into the end grain and you can't really sand it off. So we're gonna screw that idea. Instead, we are just gonna go ahead and stain these one solid color. So that's gonna fill the cracks and make them dark. And then we're gonna put our separate stains on the other pieces that have a different color. The final screw, you guys. Yes! So we actually had to take the bottoms off of these that we had already attached because we realized it's much easier to get to these hinges that way. As you can see, we've had to do a lot of creative clamping. We had to put some shims in here, a lot of trial and error, needless to say, but these hinges are on. We also realized we should have done this before we stained it, so we're doing it before we add the poly. And then we're gonna have to take them off and do the poly. It'll be a whole thing. Moment of truth. Woo, check it out. It looks real. Ta-da!
Woohoo!
You guys are probably wondering where the hell the handles are for these things. Well, we haven't really decided what we wanted to do for the handles. We thought about routing a hole or putting a little ridge there or something like that. We might put little leather straps or something on there.
Well, since it's at our head and feet, we didn't want something bulbous, so
yeah, we don't want to hit our heads on it. So dang, you guys, and look at the tops. We don't even have to add more colors to these. I mean, they just look awesome already, don't you think? Are we gonna try to paint it tomorrow?
Maybe it's a good stopping point. We'll sleep on it and think about it and come back in the morning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, in you go. Get in there. That's your home. We made a little trip to the other garage because it's got heat.
If you can hear that.
Yeah, it also, sorry, it kind of looks like a horror movie set. We got a lot of junk in here.
Well, we got a lot of junk and half of our lights are out in this garage.
Yeah, so we just got this one creepy operating table light. So we are in the final stretch of this project. Look what we've done. Does this make any sense to you? So you guys know that some of these triangles have to be different colors. So our plan is to tape the opposite ones off just to make sure we don't have any stain that accidentally gets over. And then, check this out. This is our big plan. We have these little pieces of trim that fit perfectly into these slots. We showed you these earlier. We already ran some tests, and all you have to do is put that there, and then you can stain up to this edge, and that'll make sure that the stain stays nice and neat in its own little quadrant. It's not really a quadrant because it's a triangle, but you get it. All right, y'all, we're on the home stretch. We have this white wash, which is the final color. We did it on the most inconspicuous piece to test it. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say it looks pretty good.
I think it's making it pretty fun.
So we're gonna have a white strip there, and then a white strip over there, and then two over here, and then that's it.
And that's it. And then we're kind of done with this. I mean, we have to poly it, but I did not think we would be here. I thought something would have broken along the way.
Well, there's still time. Oops. Don't knock on that wood, you're gonna dent it.
Oh man, come on.
We did it!
Ta-da!
Be honest with us, guys. Did you think it would turn out this beautiful?
Oh my gosh, I'm in love with them.
Yeah. Believe it or not, this is exactly what I had in my head. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'd change a single thing. This is exactly what I wanted. We made them to be a mirror image of each other. And then we're gonna have handles here, which we still haven't figured out. But then they open just like so. And then you got all this storage in each one of these.
You can put your cell phone right in there.
And then close it.
Go to sleep.
Probably forget that it's there.
Yeah. Also, for those of you wondering, we went to Menards and spent all that time getting the milk paint, and we ultimately switched to a whitewash.
Yeah.
It was the right choice. The milk paint was too white.
So we ended up putting this, which is a stain, on top of this medium stain, and that gave us this nice white color, which it's the exact milky, slightly transparent color that we wanted.
It's perfect!
Perfect! Ow!
Oh, sorry.
Now we have to poly the heck out of these, and we have to wait 24 hours before we can do that anyway. You guys don't want to see that. That's gonna be kind of boring. So we have one last project that we're gonna squeeze into this video. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Let's do it. Is this what you expected to see? We got new captain's chairs, you guys.
Oh my gosh, this is my first time sitting in them.
Yeah. Very,
Holy
very nice.
smokes.
These were actually made by a viewer of ours. Shout out to Matt. He actually runs an upholstery company that makes chairs for RVs.
Yep.
So he sent us a bunch of samples for the fabric and different chair styles, and we mixed and matched them and came up with these.
Yes, he also did our custom cushions for our couch inside our pillow couch.
He did. His shop does incredible work. I mean, these chairs are as pro gets. You guys have seen our couch. It's incredible.
Oh
So we'll have to link to him in our description or something. You can definitely check out his work and his shop, and maybe he can design something for you. I don't know.
But that sadly means it's the end of our blue chairs in the RV. I have mixed feelings. This is so much nicer and so much more luxurious and it matches, but we had some good times, a good year and a half with our blue chairs.
That we did. Not too bad.
I know. Oh, I wish we had a beer right now.
All right, let's get them installed.
Do you want to go inside?
I think I got it. We were skeptical as to whether or not these would fit, but I think it's gonna work.
Our old chairs only had one armrest on the inside.
Yeah.
These have armrests on both sides.
Does this door shut with that there? It's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but
We'll just put it up when we close the door.
it's gonna work.
What's going on, babe?
There was one thing that we didn't really realize, that this chair does not come with slides. The little things where you adjust and go back and forward. We actually have to take those off the old chair and put them on these. But the good news is, it makes it a lot easier to install because we can just kind of put these wherever we want, and then, or it goes like this, and then these bolts line up with the holes on that base in there. So
It's so like easy but complicated.
From the 70s,
Yeah.
but it still works,
Yeah.
so we're keeping it. The passenger chair is officially in and it is looking very good. A couple challenges: this chair is a tad bit more bulky than the previous chair, so this runs in right there, but it's not too bad. It still fits, so that's not a problem. It also bumps into the utility closet back here. The previous chairs did that as well. That's mainly just bad design on our part, unfortunately.
Yeah.
If we could do it again, we would have made that much slimmer, or at least an inch slimmer would have made all the difference. But it works, okay?
It's getting cold and dark, and
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry.
So we're gonna bust out this other chair, and then we're out of here.
We mentioned that we were going to Mexico, and I'm sure some of you were like, what the heck? You were just on the road, you abandoned the RV, now you're back for just like 2 seconds before you go to Mexico. But it is a good thing that we're going to Mexico because our plan is actually to drop off the RV in Texas and get all of the damage from when the semi truck hit us repaired, and potentially a new paint job. We're still working through the details, but we're very, very excited. Either way, in about a week, we will be hitting the road again in Clementine, traveling for a few weeks before we eventually fly down to Mexico for about a week, meeting up with some friends down there, and then hopefully going to the Dominican for another couple weeks because we were quoted about 3 to 4 weeks to get everything repaired. All right, but we have some more fun projects planned for the next video. Happy New Year to everyone. That is tomorrow, I think, when this video is coming out. Where did it go all the time? Goodbye, adventurers.
We'll see you on the road.